My name is Ella Allen. I am in my 5th year at Kent State University, and my major is Integrated Science Education with a concentration in life science. Essentially what that means is when I graduate, I'll be certified to teach grades 7 through 12 in any science. Right now, I'm student teaching at Crestwood Middle School in the 8th grade science. I also work part-time as a server at Cracker Barrel, and I have a husband and a 3-month-old baby boy, which makes me more unique than the typical student at Kent State University. Seth and I were both in 4-H together, and that's like an organization for kids that are interested in agriculture or raising animals. And we were both involved in that, but we never really talked to each other. In fact, my sister and I would actually make fun of him when we were younger and would see him at things.
Ella and I met at the Portage County Randolph Fair. We were both involved in Junior Fair Board, and don't worry, I know what she said, and I made fun of her too.
Yeah, so anyways, when we were like in high school, we got to know each other a little better, and then we started dating when we were 16. So we got engaged when we were 20 years old, so about 4 years after we started dating, and then we got married when we were 21, and then we recently just had our son Emmett at age 22. That is something that's pretty unique about us because we are very young compared to most people our age, or most people that have babies and are married. We always joke that on paper we look like we're 30 years old because Seth is a college graduate, I'm almost a college graduate, and we're married and have a kid. I think that some people might judge us, and that's okay. I think especially when we first got engaged, some people were surprised that we were wanting to get married in a year rather than like not wait a few more years to get married. But all in all, our family and our friends have been very supportive of us. So obviously being a mother is very fulfilling. I love my son Emmett, and my husband loves him too. Some things that are definitely struggles with going to school is there are many sleepless nights because babies don't like to sleep through the night for a long time, and sometimes I feel like I'm spread too thin all over. But that's okay, we're still learning how to navigate through this busy time in our lives together as a family. One of my favorite things about being a mom is I just love when Emmett smiles and laughs at us. It's really nice just to see that. He's getting to an age where he's becoming a lot more social, and he likes to respond to his environment, whether that be a new noise or a new smell, or just like what the people he's around. So it's really fun to watch him growing in that aspect. So it was early March of this year. I was in my 3rd trimester of being pregnant, and I was at work that morning, and everyone was talking about how restaurants might be getting shut down for like the week previous to that. And we all thought it was a little out there. We didn't really expect it to happen, but we were all kind of thinking about it. And we had really been slow business-wise for the few weeks leading up to that point because people just were staying at home. I remember I had gotten off work and we were driving in the car somewhere, and the governor, Mike DeWine, was going live, and we listened in, and he was one of the first governors to start shutting things down, and he said that restaurants were closed. It was definitely something that was very nerve-wracking. How are we going to pay our bills? How were we going to survive? I had a baby coming very soon. Luckily, my husband was able to work throughout the entire pandemic, but it was definitely something that was stressful, and we were definitely scared at first. A few days later, my sister and her friend and I started applying for unemployment together, and I remember I was just was pretty upset about it because I'm a very hard worker and I pride myself in my work, and I didn't want to feel like I was taking a handout from the government, but I knew that I needed to do this in order to provide for my family. The experience definitely changed the way I think about people on unemployment or using government assistance, because at that time in our lives it's definitely something we needed to survive. So during quarantine it was definitely hard being home alone. My husband Seth was at work most of the time, and once I finished with my schoolwork it was pretty much just me by myself, not really seeing friends or family due to the pandemic. Finally, I ended up having Emmett on June 7th, and that was very exciting. It was nice to be together as a family. At the hospital, it was kind of sad because my extended family and Seth's extended family could not come to the hospital to visit us, but looking back, him and I were both happy about that because it was nice just to be the three of us together and to learn how to be a family together without outside influences from either side. And although I was really upset about unemployment at first, it did turn out to be a blessing in disguise as well, because as a server, I wouldn't get paid maternity leave. But luckily my managers didn't call me back to work until Emmett was 6 weeks old, which means I ended up getting a paid maternity leave from unemployment. So it worked out in a really good way for me. So I was able to go back to work full-time at the end of July, and Seth and I had been looking for houses on and off since the time we got married, but we decided to look at them more seriously now because we did have Emmett, and eventually we did find a house. It's in the perfect location. It's close to my parents' and Seth's parents' house, but far enough away where we're not right down the road. If I had to give someone in my situation or a situation similar to myself advice, I would say that first, take a deep breath and that it will be okay. Things definitely will be hard at times, and just because times are hard doesn't mean that they will essentially be bad. I have a great support team with my husband and the rest of my family who have really been there to help me through this time, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Is it okay if Celia and I start eating because we're both really hungry?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll be home soon.
Okay.
So, alright.
Alright, I'll see you when you get here.
Okay, sounds good.
Alright, bye.
Bye-bye. Well, everyone says that having a kid is life-changing, and I can definitely say that it is.
You know what I'm thinking of? What? The TikTok song that's like